We weren't able to do our podcast because we've been on this powerful trip at Power Players Mastermind with Cody Haskins. We are talking to the power couple, JG and Sean Shrestha. They're going to answer some questions from that.
And they're out of Texas.
Out of Texas. And she's going to give them a question. Let's go see what they got to say.
Guys, as I know AEP is a big time and a big moment for your business, how do you navigate controlling that monster of AEP and family time with your wife and with the kids?
Excellent question, by the way, because a lot of us know that as an insurance agent, this few months out of the year is the, you call it a difficult time or just wonderful time, whatever it is, because we have to work a lot. And one of the things that I realized and learned really early on is, if I'm going to do it right and if I want what I want for my family, the value that I have, I'm going to have to work like no one else so that I can live like no one can. Mm-hmm. And I stuck to that value since the beginning of my business. So yes, at the beginning of the first few years, my wife, when we would set time and we would let our kids know that, hey, look, Daddy's going to be out, for the next few months. He's going to be coming home late. So we prepare our kids, letting them know, and I think everybody should, especially if you have a little children, have to talk about it, and they're okay with it. So that's what we did. And my daughters, two of my daughters actually, birthday falls right in December, so I missed a lot of that at the beginning. Mm-hmm. But that was a sacrifice I was willing to make. Mm-hmm. Now, those time comes, I don't have to worry about, even though it's in an AAP, I don't have to worry about needing to miss those because, I have office staff that take care of stuff. But those are something that I have to build at the beginning. Those are the times at the grinding moment, So your life's going to change, guys. It's going to change every year, every time. As you grow, it's going to change. So know that nothing is forever. Mm-hmm. But be willing to put that time. Yeah. That's what I have to say.
Yeah, like you were saying, we prepared the children. We still made sure to maintain that there was going to be, we didn't go more than 2 or 3 days without making sure that there was some intentional moments that were made sure that they were in there. And we made sure that they knew from the beginning that, look, this is for a very specific period of time. I mean, think about this that he got to do with us, that if he went, if he worked a different way, then he wouldn't be able to take this time out to completely take and go and do this other special thing with you. So it's just for a short period of time, and it gives us freedom somewhere else. And we were intentional about making sure that during those moments that he was very intentional about making sure we had family time, that it wasn't filled with, oh my gosh, the homework has to be done right now. We had the homework done already, or that kind of thing. And we work together as a team. The whole family knows that together we're a team, and it gives us the success.
And the children, actually, they're phenomenal. And they know that when time comes, now they're ready. Mm-hmm. So it's really a team effort, and
we just incorporate them so that they know that they're part of the team, and this is how the team works.
And they actually enjoy that too.
They do. They go to the office and they like to offer tea to the guests when they walk in. It's awesome.
Actually, my children will come to the office and they're like, hey, and they'll be offering some tea or coffee, whatever, and they really enjoy it because they see that they're part of something big. And I incorporate my whole family in this for a few months, and I think that's how we, get over it as a family.
How old is your oldest child?
My oldest is 23,
23,
and then second oldest is 11 now, and the young, two of them is 5 and 3.
Quick question: so you're 11, 5, and 3. Say years down this line, would you continue to have this business that you have so that they can run a business? Say they want to run a business with you guys. Would you do it for that, or would it be like, I'm selling a book and I'm just going to be with my family? How could you see that?
Well, the purpose of this business is so that I can build a legacy. So the point is, hopefully my children will want to take over. So that's the intention behind building this business.
Awesome.
And we're in constant growth and changing in how we look at that. So the way that we look at that 5 years ago might be different than the way we look at it 5 years from now. So what we hand down to them may not follow a linear path, but we are constantly growing so that we know that whatever it is that we do hand and pass to them, it will be bigger than what we could have imagined when we started.
Nice.
Listen, thank you guys for your time again.
Love you guys.
Anytime.
Love you too, man. All right, we got Rusty and Michelle Knoll out of Missouri. This is one of the best power couples that we ever met that came from education, just like me and Katina. And Katina's gonna ask them a question.
All right, guys. The first question is: we know that you guys are monsters in AEP and
Yes,
Medicare
you are.
seminars.
Yes, you are.
So how do you navigate that, being monsters and mastering that, and mastering spending time together as a couple in marriage? How do you do that? Hold on.
Taking this one?
I'll let you start.
Okay. So I've been, this will be my third AEP. So when I came on board, he works all kinds of crazy hours, and so I knew that's, it would be a grind. And so during AEP, from beginning of September, before everything starts till it's over, I mean, we pretty much check out of everything else. We go to church, we go to our life group. We've got Thanksgiving in there and a birthday or two. We make sure we do those things, but outside of that, during that time frame, we're just
AEP
nonstop.
focused.
Nonstop. That's the focus. And then the rest of the year, those other months of the year, is when we take time and travel and do all the things.
Yeah. And we get to spend a lot of time together because we're in the business together, but we do membership meetings and road shows and sales meetings and Medicare seminars. We're doing all that together, so we get to spend time together, but we don't really get much, if any, family time at that time. And we've made it clear to our family that during that time, that's our busy season, and that's when we make a lot of our money, and we're just not going to be available for things. So, and they're okay with that. They understand, and things get postponed and done maybe in January instead of in December or whatever. And it's worked. It's worked.
And our kids are grown,
Yeah.
so that makes a difference. Our
Right.
our youngest daughter works with us, and so that's cool because we spend a lot more time with her. But they're grown, so if we had small kids, it would be a little different.
So what would you give us, like if say we wanted some suggestions on how to get a child to do business with us? What did you guys do in order to get your daughter to work with you all?
She actually, she was working a job at a hospital. It was really a difficult schedule because she'd have to get up at like 3 a.m. And she was going to college and doing all the things, and she was really wanting to kind of transition out of that. And I was like, well, why don't you just come work for us, try it out, see what happens. So we took her to the main event, and then she went to 8%, and then she got on a Meet the Partners call with Dallas, and there was something that he said that night, because she wasn't going to go to the fall meet, Louisville. She wasn't going to go, but something he said that night, she was like, I'm going. And then after that, she was like, we go, and she's like, this is awesome. She's taking notes and telling us all the things we need to do, and we get back, and the rest is history.
And what is your advice to any young couple who wants to dive into the business but they don't know how to navigate doing it as a couple? What is your advice to them in a few sentences as possible, or you can elaborate on it? But what would be your advice to be to a young couple who's trying to get in the business just like you guys are, that's in this?
Well, we
First
have to
thing
say,
I would say is people love a team. They love the husband and wife team, and the wife really brings a lot of credibility to the team.
Yes, she
It
does.
makes a difference because I'm the one that came on board, and he has clients that he's had for a long time that now they only want to talk to me.
Your clients, huh?
Yeah. Probably the second thing I would say to a new agent, if you're just getting started trying to find, most new agents don't have a lot of money, and it's hard for them to get started. It's hard for them to buy leads. It's hard to find ways to be successful. I found my success starting out in food pantries. That's a place where I poured in, because when I started, you don't know our story. We went through bankruptcy in a different industry, different business, and when I came into this, I stumbled into insurance as a way to just make some extra money to try to dig ourselves out. And so when I started, I said, I'll do anything as long as it's free, I'll do it. And so they said, well, you can do this, this, or this, and food pantries was one of those. We found huge success in doing food pantries, plugging in, being a volunteer, finding ways to educate people about what you do. That would be one of the first things
Changing
that I would
their
say.
lives.
Yeah, changing their lives. But
Ultimately, I would say they need to surround themselves by people that will pour into them.
Yeah, and then this group definitely does that. If they're starting out, I've also encouraged our new agents to tell members after they go through their first enrollment, hey, when we come back to AP, we're going to have membership meetings, so you can come to that, and we'll tell you all about all the plan changes and all that. So that way you're already setting the standard for future business, so you kind of have people coming into one spot. If you don't have an office, a lot of new agents can't afford an office space. They work out of their house, and that's great. I did that for 5 or 6 years, so and it's fine to do that. But you want to kind of look beyond, so you kind of set up your business the right way. I wish I would have done those years ago, but yeah, that would be another thing that I would say.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for taking time again to have us out the Philippines.
No
Love
problem.
you guys.
Thanks.
Blessings to you.
Thanks.
All right, we got family here right now. This is Dallas and Lori Keithley. Man, they've been a tremendous blessing to me and Katina, and we actually get a chance to talk to them. So go ahead, man. Tell them, ask them what the question is.
Okay. So, first question is, we know you have Medicare Playbook, your podcast. How do you navigate having an amazing AEP and helping other agents and mentoring other agents at the same time, during that time, having family time? How do you guys manage that, and what roles do you all play in doing that?
Well, it's very important that your kids understand your goals, right? If they just see dad getting up to go to work every day and they don't know why he does it, it's not going to, they're not going to be willing to sacrifice for what dad and mom are trying to do. But if they get it, like, okay, mom and dad have goals, they are trying to do this by this date, and that means if they accomplish those goals, then the family gets this, then they're on board. It's not just mom and dad going to work or mom and dad doing this. It's, hey, we as a family have goals. We want to do this. We want to go to Italy next year. But our kids know in order to go to Italy, we got to accomplish some goals. We got to work. It's teaching your kids that everything that is worth something comes with a sacrifice. And so when they learn that, then they realize, okay, look, yeah, mom and dad may have to miss this or do this, but it's for a reason. It's for a purpose. It's important for them to know here's why we do it. Yeah.
A lot of prayer. And communication, I think that's very important too, because he travels quite a bit. And just having phone calls, letting them know where dad's going to be, when he's going to be home, communicating, things like that. And prioritizing family first. When he's home, make the most of when he's home. And
Doing it on purpose, living on purpose.
And,
Yeah.
and calling each other, staying connected when we're far apart, still making those connections.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what advice would you give to a younger version of yourselves? I mean, 20 years younger. What advice would you give to a young married couple who is doing the same thing that you like to?
With or without kids.
When you guys started, you didn't have kids?
No.
Oh, so let's give advice to those in the business. Okay.
All right.
I think involving the spouse. So he was in insurance and I was not. But I think I could have been a little bit more involved, communicate, knowing more of what he did and things like that. I wish going back that maybe I had a little more hands-on in what he was doing.
Yeah. For me, it's whatever. There's a verse that says, whatever your hands find to do it mightily, do it heartily, as to the Lord. And so, we do that at work, right? When we're at work, we work hard and we do it. But a lot of times when we come home, okay, it's time to be a dad, it's time to be a husband, we don't do that heartily. I wish I could go back and tell myself, whatever you're doing, whatever's in front of you, that's what you're doing with all your heart, with all your might. If it's time to, spend time with family, do it with all your might. If it's time to, take your wife on a date, do it right, man. Go get her flowers, whatever. Just whatever's in front of you, you do that 100%.
And do it together.
Yeah.
Support him all the way. He supports me. Yeah.
Also, have you guys capitalized on your time together as a married couple with no kids around?
We're working on it.
We're working on it. In the younger years, we were broke. So time together, we had to because there was nothing else we'd go do. We would go walk around Walmart because it had air conditioning, right? And we'd hold hands as we walked through Walmart, right? It really is. You got to, again, make the most out of every moment. Be in the moment. And I feel like a hypocrite saying that because she yesterday told me, hey, you're on your phone. Put your phone down. What are you doing? And I'm with her. And Katina's looking at Vernon right now. Going,
Yes, she is.
But it's just, whatever you're doing, do it with all your might and capitalize. That's a great word. Capitalize on it.
Good job.
And that was powerful. Powerful word.
Thank you guys
Thank you all.
so much.
You guys, love y'all.
Love you too.
Love you.
Thank you.
We actually were blessed to get the Palmers back on here. So this is Emily and Hunter Palmer, power couple duo out of Texas.
All right, guys. So the first question is, with your first time rolling out with AEP, and you guys running this business, servicing truck drivers, and growing a family, and your ministry, how are you navigating all of that with so much going on?
So I am just really aware where God has my feet, and I'm very present. So if I'm at work, I'm at work. If I'm at home, it's time to wear my mom hat. If we're at ministry, we're at ministry. So we're really focused on where God has us and where He puts us, and we don't halfway do anything. So if we're at Power Players, we're all the way aware at Power Players.
For me, just having a partner is huge. When you have a spouse and you're on the same page, it really helps just run everything, because not only are we running a business, we have a ministry, we got foster kids we're taking care of, and we try to get out and have fun at the same time. And it's a lot. It's chaotic, and we have to make ourselves, make time for ourselves. We literally have to schedule time to go on a date, go to a movie, and stuff like that. But with our business, AEP really not a big deal for me right now. I'm not concerned with AEP. I don't have any clients, but T65, that's all I'm focused on. And really, right now, we're just doing life. So that allows Emily to stick with the life. That way. Because really, when you're alone, it's hard to pivot to something else, because when you focus on something else, you lose money over here. Mm-hmm. So that's the good thing about having a partner or a spouse. She can continue to do what the business is doing and maintain. And when I go over here, we don't even miss a beat. We can just get into something different and try it out. I've tried a couple of different things out, and it allows us to continue moving in the same direction without any hiccups at all.
Okay, and our bonus question was, just go back to the first time you guys started, the first year you guys started business. What would your advice be to a couple that was just starting out, just like you guys? What would your advice be to them in 2 to 3 sentences on how to get started in business and flourish as a business and as a couple? What would you say to them?
First and foremost, if you don't got God in the middle of it, you ain't gonna make it.
Man, ain't that the truth?
That's first. You will not survive. You will not make it. So you better get saved before you start this journey. Insurance is tough. It's not for the faint of heart. And I would say find your partner. Mine has been my partner for almost 20 years. So the thing is that maybe you're not in business with your spouse, but you have a partner. You need someone. You cannot grow big on your own, and it takes a village. So whether some of our business partners are power players, some of our business partners are IMO and each other, and you're stronger when you really lean in and find the right partner for you and who you want to align your business with.
I tell a lot of agents that you need to treat this like a job. I heard that before when I was a new agent. I really didn't know what it meant. But what it means to me now, because we have a lot of distractions, is if Because if you're doing something and it's taking a lot of time out of your business, you have to look and say, if I had a job, would my job allow me to do this? If stuff is getting in your way, would your boss allow you to leave work and go take care of that? Would your boss give you the time to, go pick your kids up, go to the games, all of that? If that's the distraction and you're taking it way too far, that's the main thing. People get distracted, and because it's a freedom thing, people get into this for freedom, but then they forget to work.
Truth.
Well, thank you guys for your time again.
No problem. For y'all, no problem.
Man, blessings to you all.
You too.
All right, we have a special two people here for us. This is not a married couple, but this is actually a mother and a son duo.
19-year-old son.
Yes. So we have Jacob and Viola, and they're going to talk a little bit about how their family is doing business. So let's go ahead.
Okay, so the first question for you, Viola, is what made you get started in business, and how do you feel about your son wanting to be on board?
So I started in business 7 years ago after being a flight attendant for 25 years. I got tired of traveling so much, and I wanted to be home more with my dog, to be honest, but and my kids. But I got into insurance because I loved helping people and I loved serving people. So that's something that you're able to do in the health and life insurance space, is change people's lives. And so when I started seeing that growth and how I could change people's lives, and also the financial reward, to be honest, that's where I realized that this was a gift and it shouldn't be something that I shouldn't share with those that I love. So that's when I asked my son to get licensed and join me in this mission to touch as many people as we can. And so I've been bringing him along with me on different trips that I've gone on. I've been teaching him and showing him insurance, and so now he's getting licensed at 19, and he's in college, and he's thriving, and he's looking forward to getting started to work together as a team and build our insurance agency. That's my opinion.
All right, and then Jacob, for you, what made you want to get started in business with your mom, and what have you learned here that has either got you excited, and what's your anticipation after being in Power Plays with your mom this weekend?
I mean, that's a loaded question, but it's definitely been super fun being here. I mean, it's been such a great experience getting to know all these amazing people. It really puts a perspective on your life that, working or just even watching my mom at a young age, seeing how hard, she is the most hardworking person I have ever met in my entire life. I know I'm a little biased, but it's really true. Anybody will say that. Watching her work and seeing the opportunity that she's given me, other people have told me of how much of a gold mine I have with this kind of opportunity, and at such a young age, it really shows how much this is important. And if there's any younger viewers that are watching this, I just want to tell you that you too can do this. It's not just at any age that can do this. Anybody can do this. So if you really have doubt in yourself or doubt in anything that you want to achieve, just know that you should believe in yourself. Always put yourself first and believe that you can do anything, and you can. And within Power Players, I mean, this has been such a valuable experience for me. I mean, I really love it here. Definitely worth the money, definitely worth the trip, the experience, and the people. It's so amazing to be out here and to talk to all these successful people. I mean, there's so much to learn, and I'm only going to keep learning, growing, and be successful. Continue to believe in myself. So thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you again for taking the time to interview with us. Thank you so much.
So right now we have Corinne and LaShawna Smith, another powerful couple out of South Carolina.
All right, you guys been in business 4 years, married 7. How do you manage the big time of AEP, especially with this big change in 2025? How do you manage to run Medicare AEP and your life insurance and everything you're doing with your whole insurance agency? How do you manage that and make time for marriage outside of business?
Yeah, I go. You have to be intentional about setting time, because it can get AEP is crazy. It can get ridiculous. So you have to set that time. Like, hey, we're going to make time to spend together. We're gonna. It could be something small. It could be, we're gonna go watch a movie, or we're gonna go walk downtown, or just something. But you gotta make that time, because that AEP is draining. It's so draining. You come home every day, and we just like, we made it through. We just trying to get through that day. Like,
Try to get to the tippy top. But yeah, mainly what she said. The ideal is, is to spend time with your loved one. Make sure that you still there for them. Regardless, it's gonna be mayhem like for 2 or 3 months. But we, like she said, it could be something small. It doesn't have to be nothing big. Time is time. So you don't have to go out of town to spend time. You can just basically be in the house with her, doing things with her, with your significant other. But the main thing, like I was telling you guys before, we have an end goal, and we know where we want to be at, and we know what we need to basically do. So we got to sacrifice the time now for better days. So that's what it basically boils down to. Knowing your goals and knowing where you want to be at.
All right. What do you do when there's situations going on in the business? How do you not have that affect your personal life as like a married couple? Like, they'll just stay with you.
I would say, regardless, things gonna happen. Life, like you said, life is life. At the end of the day, you got to know what you're trying to accomplish. You can't make, like a small argument, take you off track. You can't do that. Just by me doing this close to 15 years, I have had some of the crazy stuff happen. But the thing is, you got to look at the end point, where you're trying to basically be at. Once you got that in your mind, all that stuff goes out the window. Yeah, we might have differences and stuff, so forth, but at the end of the day, we always come back together. Because if your household is split, you can't conquer anything. If she on her own path, on my own path, because I'm mad at this, she mad at that, we're not gonna get nowhere. So you got to basically look at the big picture, what you're gonna basically do, and what you're trying to accomplish for your family. So I got in this business mainly to basically, better my family. I was never in the best position in my life. Grew up in a 1-bedroom house, 4 people. So my goal and what I see for my family, to basically be to a point that I don't have to worry about anything. So that's what I basically, preach to her, and she got the same vision. So as long as you guys have the same vision, you can go through anything.
and I just say, just leave it in the car. Leave it in the car. You can pick it up when y'all get back home. I will finish this argument later. But right now, we're going to park it right here for a little bit. And we'll pick it back up. Because, you, like you said, you can't let it affect your end goal. You can't let it take you off of your path of what you're trying to accomplish. So, it's, you might be mad. Now, you're going to be mad. But like I said, we'll fuss in the car, or when we get home, we'll tackle it then. And then if we still mad tomorrow, we'll just leave it in the car again. Go to work, do what we gotta do, and pick it back up again.
I would say this now. I would say this. Just anytime when we do have an argument about anything, before we lay down, we apologize to each other, whatever. We'll never, because the thing is, you don't know you're going to wake up the next morning. So you basically, to the point that you mad at your wife or your husband, whatever, whether that person don't wake up the next morning, and you guys been, to the point that, you guys not in agreement, you guys arguing, and that's the last thing you remember. So we always come together at the end of the day to make sure that, it don't be no type of conflict in the morning. So. Yeah,
don't go to sleep angry, right? Yeah. That was just the advice they gave us when we first started.
And quick thing, just in 2 sentences, really short. If you met a couple who were trying to get into do the insurance business together, what's the advice? Quick advice you would give them, just like 2 sentences. What would you say?
I would just say to remain friends, because as long as you stay friends too, yeah, you married, but like I consider him like my best friend. So it's just like, how can I stay mad at my best friend? I can't stay mad at him. So it's like, just stay friends.
Correct.
Ask that question one more time. I didn't.
In
it
two
was
sentences,
like,
if it was a brand new couple, they wanted to do exactly what you guys are doing, or we want to be in insurance business, what's your advice to us just starting out?
I would say be on the same page, man. Be on the same page. You know, if you guys have a goal, you guys need to come together on the same with that goal.
Sit down and figure out
Yeah.
what y'all's common goal is, and
Yeah.
agree to that. That's y'all not going.
It don't have.
Y'all gonna do everything y'all need to get
Yeah,
that goal.
and it don't have to be nothing big. You know, it could be the smallest thing, but at the same time, you need to be on the same page.
Touch and agree.
Same
huh?
as that page, man. You know what I mean? And I would say also too, you know, find the right mentor. You know, because you get into business, you know, you got some people there, you know, just
Preach,
one
man.
thing.
Preach, man.
But the
Preach.
thing is, once you do find the right mentor, the one that gonna basically help you get what you need, not what they want.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have a good person, a good mentor or something.
I always tell her when we was going through our journey that we had mentors that kind of try to split us apart.
Yeah.
So we always like, oh no, we can't be around y'all because you're gonna
Right.
mess with our marriage. So,
Right.
so that's a big
That was a good one.
that's a big message right there.
Well, thank you guys for your time again. We really appreciate
No
it.
problem, no problem. Thank you guys.
And Posty's gonna.
All right, so we lost the camera, but we lost it at the right time, so it's okay.
We shut the camera down.
Yeah.
Second question: how did your relationship as a couple influence your journey as business partners? Can you provide examples of how you supported one another during tough times, especially when facing setbacks or failures?
I would say that there were several moments along the way where I want to do things one way, and Lauren's like, "Hey, well, what about this way?" And I'm like, I didn't think about that way. You know, like as this one thing that's a superpower of Lauren that has been amazing for our business, as she connects with people, relationships, power players, our team in ways that I just can't, you know? And so early on, I'm like, no, this is the Cody show. I'm gonna do my thing. I don't need Lauren involved. We struggled to find her place along the way. However, having her involved is a game changer. Having your spouse on board and involved is a game changer. I actually wish she would get fully involved, just run the whole thing, and tell me what to do.
No, he does not wish that. But I came into it late. So my undergrad's in physical education, my master's is in health promotion and wellness management, and I was training at a local hospital gym. And so he started the business before I was involved. And so when things started growing and getting bigger, I saw the need for me to step in and help. So I stepped in and helped, and that was a learning curve of, again, how do you stay in each other's lanes? What do you do? I do see things differently than him, and so there was that power struggle. And honestly, like, I had to learn the hard way that I don't have to go in like a bulldog to get people's respect. If you go in and show up and you work, you're gonna earn their respect versus just going in like a bulldog and expecting people to respect you because you are showing up.
Or feeling like you have to be me, or
Yeah.
I have to be you.
Correct.
No, like when we are a unit and
Yes.
one in very different ways.
And
It
really
works really well.
leaning into those different ways and allowing each person to grow and do their thing is what makes it work.
So,
Now, would you say that you guys, you told me something right before we got on this. You said did your business change when Lauren got in there? Like what would you say? What was the word that you said? You just used this.
Yeah, it was a game changer. It was big.
It was a P word.
It was powerful, super power. When she got involved, yeah,
Power
she's like
couple.
superwoman.
Yes,
you
sir.
know?
that wasn't included in our third question.
No, but that has been a big piece. Like I've avoided that. I pushed back on that, but I have realized how much of a difference she makes being involved, being on stage, sharing her voice, being on these trips, being involved with our team. Like she knows the goals of our teams, and like she knows people want to buy a car or a house or have a kid. I don't know any of those things. Like she knows all those intricate details, and it makes such a difference.
I think the biggest thing is really knowing that we're going to be Cody Ryder, Cody Mom. So he's the leader, he's the head. We're going to be Cody Ryder, Cody Mom.
I'm wrong a lot, by the
But
way.
I want him to know that he can come to me and I can give him advice, and I know he's going to listen to it. And if he takes it, that's so great. We made a decision together. If he listens and he's like, Lauren, no, I really think we need to do it this way because of X, Y, and Z, then we're going to do it that way. But no matter what, Code's making the decision.
And trusting the spouse. So, like, literally 30 minutes ago, no joke, before we did this, we're at a winery on a power player trip. 30 minutes ago, Lauren came to me today. I think we should improvise and do this. I'm like, sounds good. Like, I trust her enough to make a decision to improve our surroundings and our situation, where a lot of spouses would doubt that, or they would push back, or they'd be like, no, we've already got this plan. No. I'm like, I trust you. I trust Lindsay. You guys figure it out.
So, last question. After experiencing failures, what strategies or mindset shifts did you implement to pivot and scale your business? How do you continue to innovate and adapt in order to sustain growth in such a competitive landscape?
I've been stubborn and a control freak when it comes to delegating. And one of the best things we've done is we surrounded ourselves with really, really, really good people. John Maxwell always says that an organization's potential is directly related to its personnel potential. And our personnel has a ton of potential. That's the reason the brand's grown, the events have grown, our players, our team, and our surrounding ourselves with really good people that can run. We haven't been there all week. Operation is still going to run. Still going to do 6 figures this week. Still going to have a great week. And we haven't even been there. I haven't been on hardly any meetings. We've got the right people on the bus, in the right seats, to do the right thing, where we can hang out and be Cody and Lauren at Power Players for a week.
I also think that to get through that mindset part of it, you have to know that you're going to get knocked down. Growing up, I used to always be told, Lauren, you need to get thick skin. Lauren, you need to get thick skin. And I got thick skin because I got knocked down in business, and we had to learn the hard way. And through that, you learn how to toughen up, and then as you grow, you're able to handle things differently. So.
And we love Vernon, Katina,
Yeah, we
Journey.
So is it safe to say that he is the head? I love that you said that. He's the head, but that means you're the neck?
I'm the support. I'm the neck. I'm the support.
Okay,
He's
She's
the
got a
head,
better-
but I'm everything else.
She's got a better tail than me anyway.
Cool. Thank you all so much.
You're welcome. I hope it turned out. Sorry it died.
Wanted to share a little bit about our trip, man. You'll see some of the things that we experienced while we were on here. Ernie was here with us. We're actually going to go pick her up from the sitter.
Yes.
Had the sitter come out
we
with
had
us.
a sitter come out with us.
Yeah, so
it's our lifestyle, and we're going to live it.
yes, it is. So now we getting back. We got to go detox, and I think
we're going to have another journey for you guys, which is a more of a physical
the next trip that we have with them is going to be overseas, and I've already made the proclamation that I'm going to be 80 pounds less.
Let's get it. That's 160 between them.
I got to lose this daddy weight. So
exactly. And Journey will be 1.
Yes.
So let's get it.
So we going after it. All right, you all. You have a good day, night, whenever I post
Thanks
this.
for tuning in to Marriage, Family, and Business. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Yes.